What's good, everybody? It's your brother Mad Black, the most dangerous and the most toxic black man on the internet. And I am black up in your face again with some more pro black commentary. So, like I said before, this summer I wanted to try my best to dispel some of these myths and some of these over exaggerations when it comes to the imagery and the propaganda surrounding black people or negative images of black people. And an incident came up on social media the other day. Well, actually, this happened 2 weeks ago. Like, I saw some brothers posted this picture on Facebook, and it's a picture of this black woman and her children. And I guess the kids are throwing up gang signs or whatever. And I saw a bunch of, people talking about it and basically going over the same thing. We don't like hood rats, and we don't like hood rat kids and stuff like that. The typical uh thing that a lot of us do within the black community. We get into these very self-deprecating ideals about ourselves and the people around us. And a lot of this is spread also throughout the manosphere sector of social media. And this is not me even so much criticizing the black men in this post, but just trying to point out something and get a little bit more understanding. Okay, so like I said, the picture is of this black woman here with her kids. And if you look, the caption says, "Single mom goes viral on Facebook post." She goes viral on Facebook and she posts family pic of kids holding guns and throwing gang signs. Now, as of this image right here, maybe I missed it. Maybe there is some other pictures showcasing these kids and this woman. But in this picture, I don't see any guns. Now, I guess uh, maybe one has a gun in his pocket. I don't know. Like the oldest one, the tallest one that's kind of standing in the back. Maybe that's a gun in his pocket. I don't know though. And the reason I'm saying that is maybe it's the perception of what this image is supposed to be, because you have this caption literally telling us what this image is supposed to be. And our negative ideals of what black people are coloring what we think that this image is supposed to be, other than just looking at it for what it is, of a black woman standing outside with her kids, and like she's holding up a peace sign, right? And the other kids, they said the kids are holding gang signs. I guess, the little girl's holding up her finger, two fingers up, saying a peace sign. The youngest one, the little boy, is not doing anything. He's just sitting there with his hands in his pockets. And I guess the one in the back, the oldest one, he's holding up his middle finger. So I guess that's bad, right? Like that, I guess that you could say that's a negative influence. Maybe those are gang signs. I don't know. But also, I'm asking you again, are we assuming that those are gang signs just because they're black? Because like we have to think about this stuff when we get tied into these negative stereotypes ourselves. We have to think about this. They said Trayvon Martin was showcasing gang signs in his room. Remember that? Remember after he got murdered by George Zimmerman, people went looking online for photos of Trayvon Martin, and then they found a photo of him like holding up his middle finger or something like that in his bedroom. And that became the justification from these white bigots out here to say it was okay to murder this boy because he was in his room holding up his middle finger, as if no white kid has ever done that before, ever in the universe. There are pictures of white kids on like album covers and whatever, and white people holding up the middle finger, and at no time have I ever heard anyone say it's okay to murder white children for doing that, right? So, once again, we have to be careful of these stereotypes ourselves, because now when we start saying, well, these kids are holding guns and they're throwing up gang signs, now we're getting into the mindset of we're almost becoming just like the police, because the police said it was okay, to go out there and kill people like Tamir Rice and to murder any other black child or any other black male, when we start, putting out the same types of stereotypes, like are we any different than they are? When we start judging other black people, and especially black children like this, and I understand there are some very ignorant people out there. There are some very ignorant parents and women out there who raise their kids or who don't raise their kids correctly, and the kids can be very rowdy or very ignorant. But you know, I see just as many bad white kids, or not even just white kids, but kids of all races, than just black kids. In fact, most of the black kids I've seen are pretty well mannered, or they just act like children. But I know, like, a lot of us have this overwhelming bias towards black kids based on what the media's perception is of them, or what social media has portrayed of them. We think that they're bad too, and that they deserve to be killed or taken advantage of or whatever, right? But once again, like I said, I've seen white kids act bad and like tear stuff up, steal, beat up other kids, and everything else, and there is no terrible perception of them. So let me show you this other picture here. And I remember this picture when it was very popular at the time when it was released, of sitting Congresswoman Lauren Boebert, and I've talked about her before on this channel. But here's a picture of her with her children, and they're all holding automatic weapons. They're all holding rifles. They're all holding assault rifles. This is the Christmas picture that she decided to take. Now, some idiot will make it seem as if it's okay for them to do that, like this is them hunting, but you really don't hunt with these types of rifles. These rifles are for killing, all right, not for hunting, and there is a difference. But this woman here has these white kids here, and she had these kids out of wedlock. So don't think it's just a cute family picture. You don't see a father there either. She had these kids out of wedlock, and she got married later on, and she's got pictures of these kids holding guns. And she did get some criticism from about this from, I guess, mostly like Democrats and liberals, because they're playing that whole Democrat liberal versus conservative Republican game, right? But I never saw any black people really criticizing her for this. I never saw any black people saying she's a terrible mother or her kids are bad, for holding these guns. I didn't see the same criticism I saw the black girl getting, right? This black woman is getting criticism, and they're saying like the picture is going viral of her kids, holding guns and throwing them gang signs. Once again, let me show you the picture again. I don't see any guns in this picture, right? Maybe there's a photo dump where there are pictures of her or her kids holding guns that I missed. But this was the picture that everyone was commenting on. All right, so I'm going by this one singular picture because this is the one that everyone said was bad. But you got this picture here, this black family, and you say they're bad and they're evil and they're throwing up gang signs, and the kids are dusty, and the mom's is a tramp, and all this other whatever things you can think of when you think of black people. Meanwhile, you got Lauren Boebert here with her kids holding up guns, and that perception is not there. The perception of them being criminal is not there. Like even someone's I guess pushback against me when because I posted up the Lauren Boebert picture in the thread with the black family, and they said, well, she's not standing out there in the street with her kids or whatever. So I guess because they're in front of a Christmas tree in the house, I guess this makes it better. But then I had to remind them that, not only does Lauren Boebert have charges against her, and way before she became a congresswoman, she's been locked up before, because I've seen her mugshot. She had blonde hair. This is before she decided to dye her hair and wear the glasses and try to look like the porn star Lisa Ann, right? Before she tried to change her whole persona. But she's had charges before, and not only that, her kids have charges. The oldest one has multiple felonies. Did you know that? Did you know that her kids have been charged with crimes before? with stealing identities and all types of theft and everything like that. Several felonies, not just one. The oldest one has several felonies, and he's 18 now. Okay, so he's a career criminal already. So for all of you that would look at the black family and assume that these kids are criminals and whatnot, you have a white family here who has a picture of them holding guns and has actual crimes. Not just the kids, but the mother too. They have actual crimes on record, right? So, and once again, Lauren Boebert is a single mother. And even now, because she wound up getting divorced from her husband before she had that whole incident where she got caught jacking some dude off in the theater somewhere, right? So I'm putting that out there to let you know that these people are not all innocent and great, but once again, it's just the perception, the racial perception that's been put out there by not only mainstream media but social media as well. And I'm just talking about how we even contribute to it, because even we will automatically assume, well, this black mother is terrible and has these kids here. And like I said, we don't know really what the story is unless you can give me her name and the names of her children and the family and let me know maybe they got a docket somewhere of felonies they committed. But other than that, all I see is a picture. Just the picture automatically condemns this black family, and someone put the caption, "We don't know this for sure, unless, like I said, unless I missed it somewhere." Automatically, they put a caption above it saying they've gone viral for holding guns and throwing up gang signs. Meanwhile, you have a white female and her kids holding actual guns. You can see them clearly in the photo. And I did the research and found out that both her and her children have committed crimes before. See what I'm saying? So I just wanted to put that out there and give us something to think about. Now, when I say this, does not mean I excuse black criminality. I always have to say that, or make it seem like I celebrate, or I think it's okay for black kids or anyone really to be teaching their kids to hold guns and whatnot. But at the end of the day, it might be smart of us to teach our kids about weaponry and how to use it, and use it in a smart way rather than wait for them to be victims of someone else holding a weapon. But that's a whole different discussion and conversation. But I'm not going to sit here and automatically judge any black person for being a gun owner, or just a black person and their family being in a picture, when I know some of these white families do the same thing, or if not, and some of them are actually worse. But once again, the perception is this Lauren Boebert and her kids are this nice, sweet, wholesome family sitting in front of the Christmas tree holding their guns. Meanwhile, you got a black family here just sitting out in the middle of the street, just kind of holding up their hands, and automatically we assume they're bad and evil. All right? So just putting it out there, something to think about, and something to, maybe second guess ourselves before we automatically just heap all these negative ideas onto black people. Anyway, you folks let me know how you feel about it in the comments section. I really love to hear your opinions on this. Anyway, this is Mad Black, and I will be back with my foot on the devil's back.